Now, good morning to all my mentors and the interns in the continuation of our web series on the career guidance. Today, we have renowned speaker Dr. Shivani Dubey, Senior Assistant Professor, Department of Bioscience, Acropolis Institute of Management Studies and Research, Indore. We will see the first our schedule. We will start very first from the Vandana, Ma Saraswati, and in this Vandana, voice is of the Professor Shilpa Agnihotri. She is from Technocrat Institute of Engineering and Information Technology, Bhopal. After that, I will give one about our triple IRO. Then our scholar Sai Shikha Naidu will introduce today's speaker. Then our today's speaker will give her presentation. And after that, as usual, there will be one question answer sessions. And then I will share your link so that you can fill and automatically you will get e-certificate. And lastly, I will give vote of thanks. So this is our schedule. Now I will start.
जयति वीणा वादिनी जयति वीणा वादिनी जयति जय जय जयति जय जय जयति वीणा वादिनी जयति वीणा वादिनी सप्त स्वर रस राग रूपादि विश्वेता छवि अनोखा सप्त स्वर रस राग रूपादि विश्वेता छवि अनोखा सकल मंगलकारिणी जयति वीणा वादिनी जयति वीणा वादिनी।
Now I will request our scholar Sai Shikha Naidu to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Shivani Dubey Sharma. Please, Sai Shikha Madam.
Hello. Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, audible Shikha Madam.
A very good morning to August gathering on the occasion of National Webinar on Promising Career in Biotechnology. Today's speaker is Dr. Shivani Dubey, and I am feeling privileged to introduce her. Dr. Shivani Dubey is a Senior Assistant Professor, Department of Bioscience in Acropolis Institute, Indore. She is MPhil and PhD in microbiology. She has 12 years of academic experience of teaching UG and PG students of microbiology, biotechnology, and also with medical students. Dr. Dubey has 10 years of research experience in the field of mycology, geomicrobiology, food microbiology, and pharmacognosy. Dr. Shivani Dubey is currently working in Department of Biotechnology sponsored project Manav, the Human Atlas initiative, and also coordinator of student unit of Microbiologist Society, India. Dr. Dubey is active member of Association of Microbiologists in India. She has to her credit research paper published in reputed national international journal and oral poster presentation in prestigious conferences. She has attended national international conferences, seminars, workshops, faculty development programs, and other interdisciplinary areas. She is assistant editor in International Journal of Current Research Analysis since 2016. She has been subject expert and a resource person in developing e-content of undergraduates under a project governed by the Ministry of Human Resource Development and DAVV Indore. She has served as an invited speaker for giving career guidance to biotechnology and microbiology students. Now, I would like to request Dr. Dubey for delivering her talk on promising career in biotechnology. Thank you.
Now I will request to our speaker, Dr. Dubey Shivani, to start her presentation. So very first, I will stop my presentation. Then, ma'am, you can easily start your presentation.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible. Now you please share your PPT.
Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, good morning, one and all present here. First of all, a very happy Teachers' Day. It was a very prestigious event for all of us, all the teachers around the world. So, first of all, I would like to wish all of you very happy Teachers' Day. So, my topic for today's talk is about promising career in biotechnology. And as I am teaching biotechnology and microbiology since 12 years, I think I may give justice to this topic with you. Okay, so I am working in Department of Biosciences as Senior Assistant Professor in Acropolis Institute of Management Studies and Research. So this is my institute. And the first and the foremost thing which comes to a student's mind when he or she passes 12th with PCB, Physics, Chemistry, Biology. So the first thing which comes across his mind, that what subject should I choose? Should I go for a certain graduate degree or certain other degrees? Most of the students take a break for NEET. They take a break for the medical studies. But there is only one way to achieve your career, achieve your dreams in the biological sciences? No, it's a big no. There are various branches, various fields are there in which you can certainly make your career a big hit. Okay, and one amongst that is biotechnology, of course. So I am going to give you a brief insight into what other courses are available, what are the different combinations available for a student with a PCB background. Okay, so first of all, these are the varied different fields which are available for a 12th PCB student. So as you can see from this slide that there are several courses, several vast opportunities are there. The student may enroll into BBSc, that means Bachelor of Veterinary Sciences, BSc Nursing, Paramedical courses, BDS, and BAMS, BHMS, and the most lucrative career opportunities which the student think that it is lucrative is MBBS. And to pursue their MBBS, they need to qualify NEET. And NEET is a very tough thing to do until and unless you have started preparing for it a long ago. So, and it makes a student more depressed when he or she cannot cross the NEET, but is willing to go into the research field and pursue their dreams also. So I'm not discouraging any of the student to not pursue their dreams to NEET, but I'm going to disclose other vibrant opportunities present for the PCB students, that how you can go inside a particular field and explore yourself and have a lucrative career from there as well. Okay, so the one field which I seem to be very affectionate with is BSc degree. And this BSc degree it comes with a graduate degree from a reputed university like Devi Haley University, because I am associated with them, or other universities are also there, like Hari Singh Gaur University, Sagar University is also very reputed university in MP for these kind of courses of graduation with microbiology, pharmaceutical chemistry, biotechnology, etc., etc. There are humongous opportunities there for the biotechnology or the PCB students in the lifetime. Okay, and if one goes for this particular branch, if I'm talking only about the graduation BSc degree, then he or she can pursue MSc after that, MSc with any of the life science subject, or MSc with the biotechnology, then MPhil, and then PhD, postdoc, DSc. So there are vast opportunities there. But the first and the foremost thing a student must keep in mind before coming to the field of biology, that he or she will have to dedicate a lot of amount of time and a lot of amount of consensus and intellect while doing this, because we are the one who are not only exploring our fields, we are not here only to prepare, to build our career. Being a biologist, I can say we are here to serve the society, and that's how I'm going to disclose it in another slides of mine. Okay, so if a student starts searching about the subject prospects or career opportunities about the biotechnology, microbiology, or any life science subject, then he or she must be admitted first, must be dedicated enough to devote most of his time and his intellect to this subject. Then only you can justify the subject and you will get a lucrative career. I will be talking about the lucrative career ahead also. So I'll be talking about in this talk about the graduation degree which we can pursue with many of the life science subjects, and specifically I will be bothering about biotechnology here. So as you can see, if I am into the life science subject, I have these vast amount of courses ahead me. So if I am a student of PCB and I want to pursue my career in any of the life science subject, and I want to be a graduate in that subject, so there are humongous opportunities. As you can see from here, I have also wrote, not only I have written here BSc or MSc, but I have also written here BTech. So BTech for the engineering students, if you want to come to the biotechnology field, you are also welcomed here via the degree of BTech biotechnology. But for a student to pursue BTech, it is very much compulsory to have maths as a subject along with PCB. So a student who has done maths, who has taken maths along with the biology in 12th level, can only opt for the BTech. And those students which have never taken this math subject as one of the subject of 12th, they cannot come to this BTech degree. Okay, so here I'm differentiating these two degrees. Biotechnology can be done with either by taking BSc as biotechnology, BSc degree with biotechnology, and BTech with biotechnology. The basic difference is BSc only the students with PCB can do, and BTech only the students with PCB and mathematics. Okay, so these students should have a mathematics subject in their 12th level, otherwise they are not eligible to do this BTech degree. So as you can see from this pictorial depiction, that there are vast opportunities. If I'm only talking about the biotechnology, and why I'm showing this particular slide to you, that I want to express this thing, that it is interdisciplinary subject altogether. And as it is interdisciplinary subject, so here we can see that there is a nanobiotechnology, forensic sciences, genetics, healthcare, agricultural sciences, veterinary sciences, bioinformatics, biochemistry. Several prospects may be there if you want to take life science as your education origin. Okay, so once eminent microbiologist, he's the father of microbiology, Louis Pasteur, he said, and he was a pioneer in the vaccine science. The fact why we are trying vaccines for SARS-CoV-2, for the COVID-19 treatment, it is because of him only. That Louis Pasteur said once that without laboratories, men of science are soldiers without arms. So you can very well understand with this, that if we have taken the science subject, whether it will be a physical science or a chemical science or a biological science, there must be the laboratory skills required for the students, because it will, without the laboratory skills, a person will not be able to perform well in the career. So without laboratories, men of science are soldiers without arms. This should be kept in mind for the students before entering biological science, especially because it needs a very well equipped lab along with the skilled professionals. Then I must say, among so many humongous opportunities in the field of biotechnology, I find in the field of life sciences, I feel biotechnology is the sparkling career option. Okay, so you must take a shot to this subject once you are deciding for your graduation subject. So, and what would be the educational hierarchy in this field if you are opting for a biotechnology? Okay, so I have already mentioned that if you are a 12th student with PCB as your combination, you can take BSc biotechnology. If your combination was PCB plus maths, then you can take BTech, and in that also you can do biotechnology subject, take biotechnology subject. And then undergraduates may take admission in PG programs like MTech or MSc accordingly. Then there is a program which is known as CSIR UGC NET, which has to be cleared before you opt for PhD programs. Otherwise, several universities have their own this pre-PhD entrance test, which has to be cleared for getting admitted to a PhD program in biotechnology or any other subject. And the PhD student certainly can opt for postdoctoral and doctorate in science. So DSc can also be done. And for this also you need to be very much dedicated, very much time consuming processes there. But I must say, at the end, you will be highly satisfied with your job, because that job will give you a lucrative salary as well as a bright career ahead. And you will serve the society also. So you are serving the society as well with while you are doing biotechnology. So it is a brief introduction of the syllabus, what you are going to read when you are entering into such subject of biotechnology. So in the year one, roughly all the universities teach students the introduction to biochemistry, then chemistry and biophysics, genetics and cell biology. In the second year, they teach the students about physiology of plants and animals, biomembranes, biogenetics, computer and data statistics. In third year, you'll learn about biotechnology and molecular biology, plant and animal biotechnology, and environment and industrial biotechnology. But what these are, I'm going to brief you about this, that what these are subject concerned with. So here is first of all, you must know that what is biotechnology. So it is a very much advanced field. It is applied field of biological sciences. First of all, you must learn about what is the difference between a pure science and an applied science. So pure science is what we have learned from decades ago, that we have learned the basics and principles and concepts of each and every thing we have understood about the biological sciences, and when we apply that particular knowledge and the principles, then there comes biotechnology into the role. And this biotechnology, it utilizes the biological organisms, be it living organisms like us, okay, be it mammals, be it animals, be it small microscopic organisms like bacteria, fungus, viruses, yeast, etc., etc. So we can utilize those biological systems and we can develop or create different products out of it. So in a way, we are going to work on the real biological systems, and we are trying to work out them like that we can produce or create some different usable products for the society. And biotechnology was invented in a view to serve the society only. Okay, so here I am giving some beautiful simple examples so that you can learn it, that biotechnology deals with the use of yeast to produce bread. You have certainly have eaten the bread, and that bread is made from the yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So food biotechnology has a great role in that. Or when we try to make curd out of lactobacillus species, when we put a inoculum of lactobacillus in the milk, it converts it into the curd. So that is also one of the food biotechnology application. And the use of microorganisms have also been used to make insulin like products. How much time can take insulin for ourselves? Taking insulin injections in case of diabetes mellitus and diabetes insipidus. But how long we are going to take these insulin injections? These insulin injections are being taken from animals. Okay, these insulin has been taken from the pancreas of the animals, and it is a very it is not a cost effective process. It is very cost consuming process, time consuming, as well as it makes exploitation of the animals, because we are taking insulin from their pancreas. So why not try something out of the microorganism and make insulin as a biotherapeutic agent? So this idea came to the mind of various scientists, and they came with this product Humulin, which I'll be later talking about. Okay, so there is a product called Humulin which has been made for use to the as a replacement of insulin, which is present in the market today. Now, what is the scope of biotechnology? So biotechnology is ultimately when we are using the biological systems like the organisms, microorganisms, living system we are using. So the nature is giving us a toolbox, and it is making us understand that how we can reduce rate of infectious diseases. Since 6 months now, COVID-19 has proliferated in such a vast way that we have evoked as the second country in the COVID-19 cases, active cases of COVID-19. And it is a heartbreaking news to all of us, because we don't want to come second in this field, but we have come to this point. So what we can do with the help of biotechnology, and what the scientists across the world are doing, they are trying to make vaccine for this particular COVID-19 disease, which has been caused by SARS-CoV-2 named virus. So they are trying to find out a vaccine out of this, and Russia has already announced that it has come with the positive results with the vaccine, and soon we'll be having it in our country also. In our country also, 4 institutes, Serum Institutes, Bharat Biotech, these are working towards it. Glenmark has always also given an antiviral drug which says that it is potential, but these are under clinical trials. So what we can do with the help of biotechnology, we can reduce the rate of infectious diseases. We can tailor the treatment to individuals to give to minimize the health risk and side effects. As you know from newspapers and from various media, that this COVID-19 is badly affecting lungs of the patients. So if a cure has been made and if the treatment has been tailored, we can also minimize health risk and side effects of those drugs. Also, we can make precise tools for disease detection, as we have learned about this, that India is also making various disease diagnosing tools for this particular disease. I'm giving the example of COVID-19 because it is a recent one. Okay, so you will be getting to know this particular topic very well. Then it can combat serious illness and everyday threat for the developing world. And this is not only about the medical biotechnology. This slide shows that it is talking about the medical biotechnology, but you will be surprised to know the other scope as well. It can enhance the yield of crops. We can use it in the agricultural processes also. It can be used to enhance the yield of crop. It provides tolerance against various stress factors. It can provide tolerance against or resistance against diseases in plants and animals. And ultimately, it can impart food security to us. Also, we can make some bio-based processes. We can tailor-made some bio-based processes which can be used to control the pollutions, and also we can decrease the global carbon footprint. So we can save our mother nature, our environment also with this biotechnology, and we are saving. It is not the thing that we can do these things. We are already doing these things from a decades now. Okay, so we are now experts in these fields, and I can show you proofs about that. Then the scope of biotechnology is also in converting the carbon waste. Now, at this time, what is the first and the foremost duty of a biotechnologist is to utilize the waste. We can utilize the waste and convert it into the usable forms of energy. We can make a fuel out of it. We can make a chemical out of it. So it's the first and the foremost duty to minimize the waste, and that's how we can make biofuels or biochemicals. And then zero waste processing processes for the formulation of new drugs and chemicals. So we are trying some waste product, like you all might have taken sugarcane juice. So sugarcane juice comes from sugarcane, and sugarcane is a waste molasses when the juice has been extracted out. The remain is a waste for that person, for the vendor. So we can take it out and we can use it in the industrial biotechnology process, and it is a very good source of carbon for the processes. So I must say we are working for the environment also, because we are going towards the zero waste producing processes. Okay, and also we are able to manipulate the microorganisms at the genetic level also, and we are manipulating it to suit our needs. So without the permission of other person, we can't manipulate that person, but because we are dealing with the biological organisms, that's only in our hand how we can use this. And as you have learned about this, that previously when COVID-19 was a big issue in the media, it was also been said that it is a bio war, that some country, I would not take the name, that some country is taking it, using that particular virus as a bio-war substance. So it is in the hand of a biotechnologist how to use it. But we must say the main intention or the main purpose of establishing this biotechnology field was only to serve society, was not to diminish its values. It was not to be a bioterrorist. It was not to produce a bio war in any of the ways. So the sole intention of a biotechnologist should be in the favor of the society always. So if a student is hearing me, he or she should be considering it in the mind that with a positive mindset only you should enter in the biotechnology field. Then these are certain applications of biotechnology in food, pharmaceuticals, and agricultural industry. As you can see from this slide, that in the medical biotechnology, we can produce diagnostic kits for the disease diagnosis. Therapeutics can be made to treat the disease. Vaccines are being made. Then agricultural biotechnology deals with plant agriculture, farms, food processing, food security. These are the fields where biotechnology has tremendous applications. Then environmental biotechnology. Environmental biotechnology, I have told you that we can bioremediate a particular land Also, and also I would like to give you an example that we are not oil bearing country. Okay, so we need oils to be, or petrol or diesel, something like that, the oils to be taken from the Arabian countries, and from those countries these oils or these hydrocarbon containing oils are, they come to us through via the ships, and these ships accidentally, many accidents have occurred and these ships have turned down, and the oil gets spreaded on the water. You can very well imagine this thing. If the oil gets spreaded on the water, it inhibits light, it inhibits oxygen, so the aquatic life, fishes, microorganisms, all the aquatic life gets disrupted altogether, and it is not very an easy job to remove the oil from the water. So how we come into the role here, that we can apply bacteria. Dr. Anand Chakrabarty, an Indian origin scientist, has discovered this fact that Pseudomonas thuringiensis, this bacteria, is a superbug, and it has the inherent property, it is carrying inherent property of inherent genes which can degrade such kind of hydrocarbons present in the oil. So we are using these bacteria for the bioremediation of water when oil spills are there from the decades also. Okay, so biotechnology is not a new field, but it has developed slowly, and now it has come to this role that I'm telling you, that we are being applying these things for much time from now. Okay, so we can clean the environment through bioremediation. This term is known as bioremediation, when we are trying to remediate the environment with the help of biological organisms, and by preventing environmental problems with this. We have already discussed about it. Then the forensic. Have you ever been fascinated with the thing that CID comes and they go to a lab, they give the experts go to the place of the crime, they take the samples from there, they take the samples and they give the results like this. Later on, you come to know that the DNA samples they have matched to that particular suspect, and you come to know that this is the particular suspect which has committed the crime. So how come this? How this can happen? It is due to the forensic biotechnology, where it comes into the light. Okay, so we can perform the forensic experts, forensic scientists, they are known, but they are basically the biotechnologists only. If you see any advertisement for this forensic scientist, if any advertisement or any vacancy is there in the newspaper or any other media, you can very well see that they want MSc or MTech in biotechnology, in microbiology. So these subjects are very well needed by the forensics to have the knowledge about the forensic scientists. So biotechnology is a field where you can access in the forensic field also. We can do paternity test. If someone comes and says you are my father and you want to test it out, so paternity test is also there, and that has also been done by the forensic biotechnologists. Scientific investigations are being done. Okay, so various fields have various applications, right? So industrial biotechnology, we can produce energy with that, and we can produce new materials. So COVID-19 ke karan we have understood the use of sanitizer. Sanitizers are made up of alcohols, and these alcohols are chemical based substances, but now we are into the position, we have tried it with the biological systems, and bioethanol has been produced. So this is one of the most fascinating example how we can turn the chemical industry down, or how we can minimize the use of chemicals for our environment, because it once it gets spreaded in the field, like the agricultural field, if we try to put chemical fertilizers, it will harm the crop as well. The debris will not be removed from the crop anyhow, whether you are trying to wash it with your with the water, clean water, you want to put salt inside it, you want to put other materials inside it, the debris of that chemical fertilizer and debris of those chemical materials, pesticides which you have applied to your field will remain on the crop itself. So that's how it is causing cancer. So that's how we are getting cancer at a very high rate today. In the previous times, our ancestors were not having, or our elders were not having this much of, their generation was not having this much of rate. So this is one of the aspect of this, that we can try and we can generate new materials out of it. And these, as I've told you, that applied sciences makes use of these subjects only. If you are entering into biotechnology field in the graduation level, you will have to learn about the concepts and the basics of all these things. Microbiology, biochemistry, food technology, genetics, all these fields you will come to know. And just a brief introduction, what is microbiology, in which we deal about the microscopic organism, which we cannot see with our naked eyes. We need an aided object like microscopes to visualize them. And they have been used for various purposes. And biotechnology cannot work without microbiology. It cannot work without microbiology. That's why biotechnologist often has to study microbiology in the first year itself. Okay, so biochemistry, physiology, various fields where microbiologist and a biotechnologist can work. So these come hand in hand. Okay, these fields are coming hand in hand to each other. Okay. Now the biochemistry, so we have learned that we should take a balanced diet. It should have protein, starch, carbohydrates, okay, and fat in a balanced amount. So what biochemists done, they deal with the chemical processes occurring within our cells. They deal with the biomolecules that we are using. We are talking about carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, nucleic acids, and also the chemical processes which are present inside our human body or inside any biological system, and how we can solve the biological problems arising due to malnutrition and arising problems due to deficiency diseases of these biomolecules. So biochemist has this particular work. Then food technologists, they serve to maintain the processes which are used for the production of the food products, their processing, preservation, packaging, labeling, quality management, and distribution of the food products. So very vast role of a food technologist, which is again a food biotechnologist, because only he or she is responsible for a product to go in the market in a good state. Okay, so each and every process a food industry may have has intervention of a biotechnologist. So food technology is another such field. Then genetics is the study of heredity. Like if my parents are having any kind of gene disorder, I may have it, but is it necessary that I will pass this to my generation also? No, it is not necessary now, because we have certain solutions with the help of genetic engineering, where the scientists are able to manipulate our genes, and they manipulate the faulty genes and make them correct. Okay, so this is a very fascinating field to see how the biological system can be corrected. The faulty gene can be corrected, and a disease can be eradicated. Okay, so the whatever offspring takes from the biological parents come to genetics level, and it shows the specific traits in this. Environmental biotechnology, we have already studied about that, so I'm not going in deep about this. Okay, biotechnology, I have already told you about that. These are there to solve the problems and make useful products to the applied fields. We can make therapeutic proteins, other drugs through the genetic engineering. Plant biotechnology, how this comes into the picture, because many people might think that what is the need to grow these kind of plants inside a test tube when they can grow in the mud itself, in the nature itself. So there must be a thinking why they are doing it in the test tube. So we are doing it in a test tube. We are culturing them in a test tube so as to minimize their minimize their time period to grow. First and the foremost thing. Also, the second thing can be done for those plants which are which have come into the endangered species. So as the animals comes into the endangered species timeline, also plants have also come to this range, that they have been endangered. Very few species are left. And if those plants are very much capable of providing something useful to the society, we must try to save them. We must try to make copies of them. And this we can do with the plant tissue culture. And it has a vast opportunities, vast application when we are talking about, or when we are dealing about the things that are turning the growth of the plants which are of medicinal properties. Because if you are taking any plant of medicinal property, you are doing your own entrepreneurship, and you are doing your own startup. You are bringing this plant tissue culture lab into a view, then you can earn crores from it. Okay, $1 million you can earn, because industries always try to find some new products or already known products. And if that particular plant species which is endangered is having that medicinal property, the industries will be dying to take that product from you. So plant tissue culture lab establishment for an entrepreneur is very well revenue generating. So here we come into picture that we can save those things. Also, we can genetically modify the plant. How then? The first thing, why we need to genetically modify plants? Because plants might have some problems with them. And what are these problems? That they are in danger from some sort of pests. Okay, they are in danger, like bt cotton. If you have heard about it, bt cotton is a cotton which has been genetically modified. Okay, so the cotton plant which was having very danger from a particular pest. Okay, and this biotechnologists, genetic engineers, what they did, they introduced that particular protein which can kill that particular pest only. We do not want to kill other insects, other pests which are useful for the crop, which are there just roaming here and there. We don't want to harm them. We want specifically those particular pests to be killed, because they are making harm, they are causing harm to the crop. So bt cotton there, it got into the role. Okay, so plant tissue culture deals with all these things. Then animal biotechnology, when you are doing about the animal nutrition, how you can improve the ways of animal nutrition, animal vaccine preparation, then animal breeding, embryo transfer, transgenic animals. Okay, so all these things come into the picture through the animal biotechnology. These slides I have incorporated only to make you interested in this field, because you will get to know about so much varied objects. Okay, then bioinformatics is one of the very useful, what I should say, it is a very useful subject has come together in the last decade, because using bioinformatics only we can do in silico analysis. Two types of analysis are there: lab analysis and in silico analysis. Lab analysis which involves wet lab analysis जो हम lab में perform करते हैं, and in silico analysis जो हम computer पर, system पर बैठकर with the use of certain bioinformatic tools and algorithms हम biological queries को solve करने की कोशिश करते हैं mathematical statistical techniques के through. Okay, so these are the in silico analysis, like SARS-CoV-2. Again, I'm taking COVID-19 example. The virus which is responsible for this disease is SARS-CoV-2, and how we identified it in such a short time, because we had certain databases, and these databases had SARS or MERS genetic sequences in them. And when these particular virus came into existence, when we tried to sequence its genome and we tried to match it with the existing genome, we found out that it is a SARS virus only. And you have learned it that in previous years also SARS has been a big hit. MERS and SARS was big respiratory diseases. Okay, but they have been controlled. So we didn't come to know in this way, like we have come to know about the COVID-19. But how we come to know that this is SARS virus only? Because we had existing databases which were having the genome sequencing, and we took this virus and matched it with the previous virus. Okay, various enzymes. So how we are dealing with the diseases? If I have come to know that this particular enzyme is responsible for this particular disease, how am I going to eradicate that? I would like to find out an inhibitor for that enzyme. I would like to inhibit that process. Okay, so this all things are possible by molecular docking processes, which comes in bioinformatics only. Then IPR, intellectual property rights, it is very much and very much essential to be understood by any of the person from any of the subject. We have the intellectual property rights, like we do property rights over a flat or a land or a house. Similarly, we can have the property rights over our intellect. Okay, so biotechnology intellectual property rights are legal ownership of a person. Like if I have discovered something, and if I am dealing with that particular subject, that particular product, if I have discovered something new, okay, it has novelty, it has something innovativeness in that. Okay, so for that discovery, if I am filing a patent or a trademark or a trade secret, so these are various types of IPR. I would have a legal ownership of an interest in that patent. Okay, so via intellectual property rights, whatever your discovery is, whatever you have found out, whatever you have find out new. Okay, new. It should be novel. It should be innovative only. Then only patent or such intellectual property rights will be assigned to you. Okay, so biotechnology intellectual property rights are very much into the picture if we are talking about the inventions, because they are innovative. They come from the innovations. Okay, so these are the type of certificates which we get for our biotechnology inventions. Okay, so the first one is the patent certificate from the Government of India, and the second one is US patent certificate. So this is how we get certified with our product, and if we want, we can commercialize the product also. Okay, so we can earn money from it, and nobody else can do it without your legal permission. Nobody else can touch it. Okay, so this is about intellectual property rights. Now, once you have completed your BSc in any of these subjects, and if I'm talking about biotechnology here, then also, if you have done your subject in biotechnology, BSc in biotechnology, why these subjects were being taught to you, so that you may find your interest at what you are trying to do, what you should take in your PG as a subject. Okay, so if you are interested in a food biotechnology subject, then you can take we can do MSc in food technology. If you're interested in agriculture point of view, then you can opt MSc agriculture. MSc bioinformatics is there, MSc bioanalytical sciences, and various subjects which we have studied. And the most promising and the most new subject which has not been explored so much is MSc, is about the biotechnology field. And you can very well do MSc nanobiotechnology from the reputed institutes all over the India or outside the India. Overseas also various reputed institutes are present to give this kind of degree to you. So such reputed institutes I have mentioned here. So there you can not go by yourself. You'll have to clear some entrance exams. Okay, that's how they come into picture. Like if you have completed your graduation degree from any of the institutes in any part of the world, and if you want to get admitted to JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University, okay, JNU is that kind of university whose Department of Biotechnology is very well known, very well reputed in amongst all the institutes for the biosciences or biotechnology. So JNU, you must try for JNU. If you have completed your BSc, you must try to give competitive exam for the combined biotechnology entrance exam for JNU, which is JNU CBE. Then ICAR also do it, IIT also do it, AIMS, Tata. Okay, food tech ke liye, these are some institutes. MIT College of Food Technology Colleges, Indian Institute of Food Science and Technology Women's College. Chemistry, if you're interested in chemistry subject for the MSc purpose, you can always do it from any of these reputed institute. You can do it, so it will give you an added advantage. If you're pursuing it from these kind of reputed institute, you will get a lucrative career ahead, because it will be stamped in your that resume. And these are some agricultural institutes which are of reputation, very well reputation. Okay, so you can opt any of these, and you must have to give entrance exams for them. Okay, you cannot go directly for the admission. So you must keep in mind that you must try to scroll the internet for these entrance exams dates and all. Okay, then what about the biotechnology in India? So 1978, Biocon was established. This was the first biotech company here, and now it has turned into biotherapeutics. In 1981, CCMB, Cellular and Molecular Biology Center, was established. Department of Biotechnology. We are the one of the countries which have special Department of Biotechnology for us, for our country only. So very few countries are having Department of Biotechnology in their legislature. Okay, so we are amongst those countries. Then BIREC was initiated. I'll tell you about that. Okay, so biotechnology industries are doing very well in the world. Okay, we are among the top 12 destinations for biotechnology in the world, which shares 3% share in the global biotechnology industry. So it is a very vast industry. Then it comprises of 2,700 plus biotech startups. So if you want to do something of your own, you can go for the startups. And for startups, you will need funding, and that funding will be sponsored by DBT, Department of Biotechnology, which I was talking about, and the BIREC, which I will be talking about in the coming slides. Okay, and it will be it is now 2,700. It will grow to 10,000 by the year 2024. Okay, this is again one of the statistics which is showing that Indian biotech sector is very well comprised of these all sectors, and we are making $1 million out of it. Okay, so in US dollars, if we count, so this is our profit report, Indian biosector report. We are very well earning from biopharma. Okay, then bioinformatics is one of the field. Bioagriculture is very well versed field from which we are earning a lot, $1 million, US $1 million from these Indian biotech sectors. So you can very well understand how much lucrative career can be like this. Okay, in the current global status, we are world's largest producer of recombinant hepatitis B vaccine. We are the world's largest producer of BT cotton. We are world's highest number of US FDA approved plants, and we are leader in the global supply of different kinds of vaccines like DPT, BCG, measles vaccines. And we have our market has valued up to $64 billion in 2019, and it will certainly reach $150 billion target by 2024-25. Okay, these are some more reputed institutions where you can go and pursue your career ahead. Okay, there are certain government initiatives. They provide you funding for your research. So BIREC is one of them. Okay, Department of Biotechnology has BIREC, Biotechnology Industry Research Assistant Council. Okay, they make us do bioincubator center, which we are trying to apply for an institute also. Okay, we are trying to be a bioincubator center and to get funded with the BIREC. Okay, then these are the visions of these BIREC, that we want to be the largest section of the society can utilize the startups and small scale or medium scale businesses for that. Okay, Madhya Pradesh is also has been a biotech hub like I should say. Various institutes are there where various ITIs, IITs are there. Biotechnology Park has also been developed, and social economic zone has been developed. Okay, and these are there are 124 biotechnology colleges at MP, and I must mention it here that we are Acropolis Institute, the highest ranking amongst all other colleges also. Okay, so we are amongst, for the Department of Biotechnology itself, we are ahead of various other institutes, and this data has been taken from shiksha.com. They have done a survey for this, and they have turned out with this detailed report. Okay, various employment sectors are there, I've already told you. Then career and biotech research and incentives. So there are various fields. Okay, we have biotechnology marketing. Okay, product marketing. If you are a biotechnology graduate or a postgraduate, you can very well do the marketing of biotechnology. So you can, if you are good enough to market some product, you can opt this particular field also. Then you can be a research analyst. If you want to make vaccine for a deadly disease, you are very well welcomed. If you want to go into the research and development field of any pharma industry, you are very well welcomed. Dairy industries are also have their you will be assigned, you will be appointed as a trainee, and for that trainee, for being the trainee, the salary will be low, 1 to 2 lakh per year. But as you will progress in the year, 1 year will be the probation period, then you will be promoted to the officer level. Your salary will be 3 to 4 lakhs per year. Then you can be a section head, 4 to 5 lakhs per year. Then you can be assistant or deputy manager, 5 to 6 lakhs per year. Then you can be the manager of that firm in which you are appointed as a trainee. You can be a manager of that firm also, where you can earn about 6 to 9 lakhs per year. Then you can be a senior manager, general manager, then the plant head. And when you become a plant head, you can earn around 1.5 crores per year. Okay, so this is a vast amount. So you can learn by this, that you can understand by this seeing it as a lucrative career, not only you're going to fulfill.
Hello. शिवानी मैम, शिवानी मैम, शिवानी मैम, आपके तरफ से नेट डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया है. You please again share the your PPT. शिवानी मैम, आपकी तरफ से पीपीटी फिर से एक बार शेयर करिए. Please
Sorry
continue.
for taking much time. Actually, internet connections are very weak here.
It may happen. It may happen. This is online. All technical problems will there. So please,
Yes,
please
yes.
continue. Please continue.
So I was telling about the applications of animal biotechnology, and I have told various types of applications of it. These are some of the points here: agricultural biotechnology, and recent research areas I would like to focus on. We can be innovative in trying for the biopolymers. So we can find out polymers which are of biological nature, which will not cause harm to the environment. Or we can find out some nanomaterials. We can find out nanotechnological material which are going to help us about in certain diseases. Like if I'll give an example about psoriasis. Psoriasis is a skin problem, okay? And when we try to apply something over it, the doctors always prescribe steroids for this. As I am suffering from this problem, I can give you the example very well. So always a medical practitioner will give you an ointment which is having a steroid. And tablets are also being given like this. And now I have been resistant to the steroids. So this is one of the harmful effects which we get from the medical fields. Okay, so nanobiotechnology can be a remedy for that. Okay, so nanobiomaterials may be created, it may be invented, and it may be applied to some of the products which can heal your skin or stop anti-aging or some properties like this. And I must tell you that I'm into the process of finding such material for this particular process. And also Mukul sir is also working on this field. Okay, so there are other kinds of applications. Recent research areas are also there, like tissue engineering is there, big data is there, synthetic biology and metabolic engineering is there. 3D bioprinting can also be done. Biosensors can be made. As you have all many people are not from this background, but I must tell you that you must have detected your blood sugar with the help of an instrument at your home, and that is an example, a very well example of a biosensor. So we can do gene editing also, artificial intelligence, which computer people and the engineering students very well are versed of, that may be incorporated with the biotechnologists, and it may be a very nice recent research area. So we can perform interdisciplinary research altogether. So if any person is interested for that, he or she can opt for this also. Okay, and this is my article link which has recently published in shiksha.com regarding this particular topic also. So if you want, you can go to this. I will give you the link in the chat box also. Then these are a few references from where I have taken the data: Invest India, Biotechnica, BIREC, IBF, and shiksha.com. Okay, so these was my words. And lastly, I would like to say that what would lead to success in the field of biotechnology, sabse pehla, there is needed very high amount of patience is needed, high amount of dedication is needed. You need to be passionate about your work. So you need to be passionate a lot about your work. You need to focus, you need to push yourself to do something good and innovate some new ideas. You need to improve a lot in this field. You need to serve the society. Your intentions must be good, and you need to persist for this and try to achieve your dreams about it it. And I must tell you, if you are successful in achieving these particular key parameters, you will go ahead in this field. So these are my key points to you. And lastly, as Nelson Mandela once said, that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And we, the biotechnologists, are very much proud of it, that we are working to change the world. So be hand in hand, come hand in hand, do interdisciplinary projects, and we'll achieve our dreams. So this was my conclusive words. Thank you so much to the team of IIIRO and all the patient listeners for such subject. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Shikha, Sai Shikha, madam.
Hello.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your superb talk regarding the career in biotechnology. Now, I want to ask all the listeners that if there is any question, please you can post in the message section so that I can read and madam will answer the questions. If there any query, I want to request all the listeners that if there is any query, please post your questions in the comment section so that I can ask. I will convey that question to ma'am.
Shikha, madam, if you have any general question, you please ask.
Yeah, ma'am, I want to ask that as you mentioned that biosensor is also in biosensor, biotechnology can also use. So can you please explain us how biotech, in a very short manner, how biotechnology can
Sure.
is used in
Okay, so
biosensors?
for the biosensor, a very good example is the diabetes or blood sugar detecting machine, which you have had, which you'll be having in your home also. So that machine works on the principle of immobilization of a particular enzyme, glucose peroxidase. And that glucose oxidase, it oxidizes the blood sugar present in the sample. Okay, and that's how it emits some certain kinds of some signals, and that can be processed by the instrument, and the reading can be displayed on the screen. So such like that biosensors may work. So here there is an amalgamation of a computer person with a biotechnology person altogether, and a biotechnologist along with some engineering person can also make biosensors out of something. So food adulteration testing is also being done with the help of biosensors nowadays. So it has a vast application here.
Okay, that's great. One more question is there. Thank you for the answer, ma'am. And one more question is there. What is the difference between MTech and MSc in biotechnology, and which one is best? This question is from Mukul Sharma, sir. Yeah.
Yes. So there's, as I have mentioned earlier also, that if you want to pursue an MSc, or if I started from the graduation degree also, that if you have done a PCB from 12th, you can opt for biotechnology BSc. If you have done PCB with maths, like mathematics and biology, both were the subject, you can opt for the BTech subject. And likewise, if you have done the BTech, you can also do the MTech. After BTech, you can always do MTech. But MSc in biotechnology students may also do MTech after MSc. So the preliminary education required for the MTech is, for the MSc students, it is MSc in biotechnology. So after MSc in biotechnology, you can pursue MTech also. But for the BTech students, they can pursue MTech directly. And both are career, everywhere the career is very good. And IITs, they offer very good this BTech courses in biotechnology subjects. So if any person is willing to do that, so BTech biotechnology is also a very good option. And MTech consistently.
Okay. I hope Mukul sir got his queries answer. One more question is there. What is the admission procedure for masters?
Okay, so as I have mentioned that there are various private colleges as well as government colleges which are offering master's degree to the biotechnology people. But I would like to suggest here that if you want to do something good and something big in this field, you should go to some reputed institutions which I have already mentioned in my presentation, during my presentation, like CCMB, that is a Cellular and Molecular Biology Institute in Hyderabad, or you can go for NCLS Pune. So there are reputation, or JNU, Department of Biotechnology. JNU is very well known for its biotechnology applications. So they have their own entrance test to get in there. Okay, so that was the basically the key to success is to pass certain exams, competitive exams, which are there held by the host institute, and if you can clear it, then you will have a great career ahead. Otherwise, there are various colleges that provide MSc in biotechnology, MSc in microbiology in Indore also, in MP also, and across India. Okay, so you can go by any of these procedures.
Okay, one of our listener want to ask one more question. Is this after MSc to March possible only in this subject or in other subject too? Arpit, I think you didn't write a proper sentence.
Yes, I am not able to understand what he's trying to ask. MTech.
MTech.
Okay.
MSc to MTech. Is it
Yes, after
possible to
MSc,
shift? Yeah.
yes, yes. Yes, it is
After
there. And
MSc.
why it is there? Why it is there? You must be able to understand it, because you have not done BTech. So if you have done BTech, you can directly go for MTech. But to get entered into the MTech, you must have an MSc degree with yourself. That's when they come to know that you have come to this extent, then you can do MTech. Okay.
Any another query? If anyone else want to ask, or should we?
One thing I also would like to add here for Arpit, actually, that it is only in the case of biotechnology right now, because I don't know many other subjects available for the BTech other than biotechnology for the biological science interested students. Okay, so I am talking about biotechnology only, that after MSc in biotechnology, you can opt for MTech. Okay.
Okay. I think any other person want to ask any question?
Okay.
Okay. Now I want to hand over the mic to Sir. Dr. Vivek, sir.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you to our today's speaker, Dr. Shivani Dubey Sharma. Nicely presented, nicely discuss and give the queries of our audience questions. And I'm also very much thankful to our conduction scholar Sai Shikha Naidu, and hope like this seminar or webinar is basically very useful for the every subject and every concept. So please, anyone, if you have an interest or willingly to give this webinar, please give the one email to our triple IRO. We will try to contact you. Thank you to all. Now I'm stopping this webinar. Be safe. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Triple IRO team, for giving me this platform. Thank you so much.